We're back on the Lobo Basketball pregame show. We're joined by New Mexico head coach Richard Pitino. The Lobos with their final regular season matchup against the Air Force Falcons. Lobos 1 game clear of the field in the Mountain West with 3 games left on their schedule. Coach Pitino, it's great to be with you. And let's start there. That is a really good position to be in the next to last week of the regular season. And you have it all right in front of you. How has the preparation been for Air Force?
Yeah, that's irrelevant. Of course it's relevant, but we don't talk about it much. You know what I mean? We do talk about the fact that, you got a week left to really define this season. Obviously it's been very, very good. Put ourselves in a great position in a lot of areas, but the main focus right now is at 12 o'clock versus Air Force. You can't get ahead of yourself. So back home, haven't been here in about 2 weeks, which has been weird. We've had like two-week breaks during the season. So looking forward to seeing if we can, take care of business. We know it'll be a challenge.
You've talked about the defense, and over the last couple of games, both very difficult road games at Boise State and San Diego State, but maybe not where it was when you went on that 8-game run and also took 14 of your first 15 in league. As you focused on defense, what have you locked in on?
Everything. There's not one thing. Now Air Force is unique with the way that they run stuff. So, disruption on the ball, communication's got to be a little bit better. I don't think our defense for San Diego State was necessarily bad. I would say it was worse versus Boise, but pick sixes, turnovers. Now San Diego State will do that to you. But those were an issue more so than the defense. So, I don't think it was that we took some major step back. We also played 2 really good teams.
Lobo head coach Richard Pitino is with us pregame. New Mexico and Air Force coming up for you on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Air Force now has a league win since the last time you played them over Fresno State in OT. What have you seen on tape in their most recent games? How have they improved since the last time you played them?
They're hard to predict because, and they do this every single year. They had San Diego State had to have a miracle buzzer beater in overtime. They played Colorado State very, very tough. Then all of a sudden everybody starts to freak out. Oh my God, you're going to lose to Air Force, fans, everybody. And it's, you just gotta go play the game. So they're getting better and better. They're young. They don't have the benefit of a million transfers like everybody else does. So it's a challenging situation for Joe Scott, but he's a terrific coach.
Coach, when they came in here last year, one of their key pieces to their formula is making threes, and they did that a bunch. They made 11 of them. They also shot 52% from the floor. You had a very good defensive team last year, and they had a guy named Regis Petritis who was really good. But is there something instructive you can take from that game?
No, irrelevant.
What are the strengths of this year's Air Force team then without a player like Petritis?
Yeah, you're just trying to put me in a bad mood by bringing up a bad loss. So I don't know what's wrong with you, Rob. But it really... Petritis was big for them. And then Highbreeder was 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So they had 2 high major transfers who were really, really good. But no, we haven't talked. It was an emotional loss last year in our building, but I don't remember the date. It was around the same time later, I think a little bit earlier, but it's got nothing to do with it. I think that I don't think anybody intentionally does it, but I think fans and media start this narrative. Oh my God, you lost to Air Force. Like we've won. I think we're 6-2. So we're not going to make it a bigger deal than it needs to be. But this team's different. You still got Taylor, who's very, very consistent and has been a good player in this league for a long time.
A couple of players for them who, in that win over Fresno State, had breakout performances. I don't know if the scout changes necessarily, but Luke Kearney was terrific. Will Cooper was terrific in the game against Fresno State. What do you like about their games? What do you have to do to defend them?
Yeah, they've got so many players. I think it's just different with the academy, but they were throwing in some guys who'd never played, so the scouting report personnel-wise looked a little bit different. But the biggest thing is kind of what you mentioned is three-point line. They get you spread out, and if you let them be comfortable, they can knock down some threes. So he's tried a lot of different things, and we all do that, certainly when you have a difficult year. I've had a couple of those where you're trying a million different combinations. And, so whoever they throw in there, we got to be ready to go.
Coach, you told us earlier in the year that some of the things that he's trying different, Joe Scott, the head coach for Air Force, maybe not as many back cuts, but it's always in there, and the guys have to be alert for it. How do you not overplay and get caught?
play our game. I mean, they haven't been as back cut friendly this year as last year. I anticipate, because we got some pick sixes, right? One pass away steals that we got to be aware of that early, because I do think, like True especially, he gambled and it worked, but he's just got to be careful and stay kind of below the guy, but still be aggressive as well.
That's a terrific point. Coach Scott mentioned after the first matchup that it was those deflections and steals that led to runouts. That's where you could be susceptible to the back cut.
Yeah, we just got to be fundamentally sound. We got to be aggressive, and we can do that, but be fundamentally sound.
Lobo head coach Richard Pitino is with us pregame. New Mexico and Air Force coming up in the pit. What about playing offense against them and the matchup zone? And you've said that even that has changed a little bit this year. Yeah,
they don't play much matchup zone anymore. It's man to man. They're so often in the gaps that it looks like a zone at times. But they're underrated physical, very, very physical. They don't mind being aggressive, fouling, walling up. So we got to be strong at the basket, and then we got to be shot ready.
When a team that shoots a lot of threes sees a couple go in, that can make them comfortable. Is it important to defend the three early so that there is a feeling like, okay, we're going to lock it down today?
It's probably overrated a little bit. Always nice to start out well, but over 40 minutes, it's important to do that. If you start off, we started off, 0 for 11 at their place, and we won by 35. So, you can't think that way. You just got to do it one possession at a time over 40 minutes.
Well, Coach, it's all right in front of you for your team. A terrific position with a one-game edge in the Mountain West and 3 to play. This home stretch begins with a home game against Air Force. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Lobo head coach Richard Pitino, our guest pregame. New Mexico and Air Force coming up on the UNM Sports Radio Network.
Welcome into the Lobo Basketball Postgame Show, brought to you by the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Winning entertainment includes simulcast racing, live music, dining, the best games, and more. That's the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Lobos 92, Air Force 71. Final, New Mexico with the W improves to 23-6 overall and 15-3 in the Mountain West. Air Force drops to 4-25 and 1-17 in league play. Final numbers: Lobos shoot 53% floor, 34-64. Air Force 25 of 56 for 45%. The Lobos 4 of 18 at the arc. Tough shooting night from distance, 22%. Air Force hit its average, 8 made threes. They shoot 38%, 8 of 21. New Mexico makes more free throws than Air Force takes. Lobos 20 of 25 at the line, 80%. You'll take that all day long. Air Force 13 of 19 at the stripe for 68%. Air Force turned it over 20 times, New Mexico 12. That discrepancy led to a difference in points off turnovers of 22. UNM scores 28 off turnovers, Air Force just 6. Rebounding battle awash, 34-33 Falcons, 10-10 on the offensive end. Second chance points as well, very close, 13-11 UNM. Bench points, all Falcons, 37-22, but paint points, all Lobos, 56-32. Fast break points, New Mexico dominates a category that they're third best in the nation in. Scoring in the fast break, 28-7 advantage UNM. Lobos block 4 shots, Air Force 3. How about 12 UNM steals? 12th time that's happened this season, tying a New Mexico single-season record, Air Force with 5. Lobos assist 16 times on 34 makes, Air Force 17 times on 25 field goals. Lobos' biggest lead was 25. Their best run was 9 straight. Air Force never led, and their best run was 7. They did it twice, once in each half. Final score, New Mexico 92, Air Force 71. Hunter had to have it, got it. Lobos dominate. Exactly what you needed. 2 left with a Mountain West regular season title in sight.
Yeah, there was no question that the Lobos had this game in hand throughout, right? The question is, did they improve on the areas that they wanted to improve on? Coach will probably say, look, we got the win, we did this and that, but those attention to details, the things that were lacking in the last 2 games, were they able to improve today?
We'll ask Coach, and one of the things that we discussed pregame was play better defense. And if you look at the numbers, New Mexico did that. Now, maybe Air Force shot the ball better than you wanted,
yep,
but you created the turnovers, and you scored off those turnovers.
Right.
You got out in transition, and those are Lobos' strengths, and they hadn't been able to do that the previous 2 games, albeit better competition against Boise and San Diego State.
Well, you look at Air Force, the last game at Air Force, they turned over 18 times, and then, like you said, turned them over 20 times here this afternoon.
We take time out. We come back post-game after this. We'll hear from Coach Pitino. Lobos 92, Air Force 71 on the UNM Sports Radio Network. Back inside the fabulous pit post-game, it's presented by Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino. Winning entertainment including horse racing, live music, dining, the best games, and more. It's the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino Lobo post-game show. We're joined by Lobo head coach Richard Pitino courtside. New Mexico 92, Air Force 71 is the final. Coach, before we talk about the game, you played 11, but no Atiki Ali Atiki. Is Atiki okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. Just didn't see Atiki on the court tonight. Okay. So you talked about defense, wanting to see better defense from your team. You turned them over 20 times. Have to like that, right?
Yeah, we were active. We were aggressive. We sped them up. That's a team that doesn't turn a lot of balls over. So our disruption was really, really good. We needed to extend that lead down the stretch. Didn't do that. We were up 25. But pretty happy with 15-3. Pretty happy with the win 21.
Congratulations, Coach. The first W in the month of March.
Yeah.
Right?
Very nice.
This was a game, a rebound game from, losing 2 in a row. What did you think you improved on today?
I mean, the schedule has something to do with it, right? I mean, you're playing 2 of the tougher teams on the road. So looking back, it was a tough stretch there. Got back home. Hadn't been here. That was 2 times in a row where we had like 2 weeks off.
Right.
So it was great to be back in this building. Air Force can make you look silly with the way that they play. And I thought our guys were really, really dialed in from start to finish.
Yeah, you talked about in the pregame just like attention to details and cleaning up some things defensively.
Yeah, it was better. I mean, did a great job on Taylor. Like, I was a little frustrated. Like, we allowed Boyd and Bird, the 2 best players, to really do well. We allowed Dagenhart to really do well, where we did a much better job on their best player this game.
It did look like Mustafa Amsil was moving more comfortably here today as well, Coach, and he ends up playing 25 minutes and scores in double figures for the first time in 7 games. You guys have played the previous 6. He only appeared in 3. This was nice to see you get that kind of production from your starting 4-man.
Yeah, we need him healthy. I was going to kind of shut him down, but then I asked him, do you want to go back in and work on your rhythm and your timing and everything like that? So he needs to practice a little bit more, but catch-22, right? You don't want to hurt that foot even more, so rest is what really, really helps him.
Is it practice or game time? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd rather him be ready for the games.
Yeah.
Hate to say that, but this time of year,
yes. Get
ready for the games.
Speaking of this time of year, as a player, February going into March, always tough. How's the team doing? Are they?
Yeah, let's start getting excited. We can. I think if we win Tuesday, we clinch a share of the title, which, we're playing for so much right now. So our practices have gotten significantly shorter. We probably went about 45 minutes yesterday. So,
but no burnout. I mean, guys are.
You got to get them mentally and physically fresh. And I always tell myself, if I'm tired, I don't do a whole lot physically. Right. They're going to be tired.
Right. Good point,
Coach. The last couple, he had been on just a roll. The best stretch of his